and welcome to the farm portion of my Avalon Springs farm visit with everybody for the virtual tour of the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival. So right now you are out with me on my farm, and Jenny is behind me. Yeah, there she is. Oh, you're going to do it up there? Yeah, I don't think they're going to come to the... Yeah, just keep it in the scooper thing. Oh, behind us are our chickens. Hello, chickens. They're all hanging out by the edge. They are so... Okay, don't worry if it does reconnect. Hello, Ray. If it says reconnect, we see that on our side, and I stop talking, and then I start talking again. So, there's two girls. Oh, you're back. Okay, so, come here, goaty girls. Shake the green. Goaty girls. Come on, goaty girls. Oh, they're running away. Oh, look at them. They're like totally being camera shy. Okay, let's see if we can get some other ones. Here's some other girls. Goody girls. Goody girls, come here. Okay, perfect. We don't need a ton. I don't know where all the rest of them are. Here, have some green. Yes. Say hello. This is Olympia. Oh, you're thinking Olympia thinks, yeah. Hello, Olympia. Olympia is saying, oh my goodness. All right, so let's just go follow them to the field where they are. Okay, so that's Olympia, and they love to hang out by the pond. And we won't go all the way around the pond, but we'll at least go hang out where they are a little bit. Maybe, Jenny, we should just...
Timothy would come. Should we go up to the boys?
We could.
Girlie's going potty.
Okay, so over there, I don't know how well they can see. Can they see? Can we zoom? Yeah, let's zoom.
I don't think we... Oh,
yeah. Okay, so that's Olympia, who we just met. And over on the... Oh, there's Jumper. This is Jumper. Hello, Jumper. She, of course, gets her name for the very reason that you think she gets her name. Fences are the things. Fences, she could jump over the moon. She stands still and she can bounce like a kangaroo. It's kind of crazy. And over by the tree, is that Yue over there? And then, okay, so the goat that's over by the tree who just nodded her head, that goat comes from Greta Dice of Persimmon Tree Farms. And I have her here to breed. That's Sylvia. Hello, Sylvia. Yeah. And the only reason they're not interested in grain right now is they're pretty well fed, and it's not 5 o'clock. So usually they're fed every day at around 5 o'clock. What are some of the questions? People are watching.
Sorry, the camera's so shaky.
People say hello. And no questions just yet. So let me talk a little bit about these. That's us. Hi. Okay, there we go.
Okay, there we are. Okay.
Shall we go walk over to the boys?
Yeah.
Let's show them the boys. So on the way to the boys, and we'll zoom in as soon as we can get there, I might as well tell you a little bit about why I do Angora goats. Angora goats are... good on a small plot of land, and I am just a little farm, and they make about, every time you shear them, you get 3 to 5 pounds of fiber, and you shear them twice a year. Let me contrast that with an alpaca who you shear once a year, and you're lucky if you get 3 pounds. It depends on how fine they are. And then the other thing about Angora goats is they have the same micron count range as an alpaca. Alpacas are 20 to 40 micron counts, and And Angora goats are 20 to 40 micron counts. Oh my goodness, this is a very old dude. Like, this is as old as they come. Okay, that's a farm poodle over there, running free in the yard. Noah, are you going to say hello? You're on camera. Say hi, Noah. I do not harvest his fiber, but I've been told that it's called Angora. Although I'm not very good. Jenny, you're better at French.
Chien means dog in French.
And
Angora.
So there is such a thing. Hey, boys, will you come up for a little bit to eat? Yes. Here comes Timothy. And Timothy is the dad for this year. Come on, Timothy. He actually is a colored Angora goat, and he's a fancy because if you see, he's got colors in all different kinds of places, even though he's really smelly right now.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. But they have such a gentle personality all year long until it gets to be about this time of year when I refer to them as drunken sailors. That's what the girls do to them. Hi, Timothy. So I kept Timothy for breeding for a couple of reasons. One, I love that when you shear him, see his little white spot on his chin? He has those like all over his body. So I thought that would be fun. And then also, he has really fine fiber. It's very curly. It's got nice lock definition. And it doesn't shag out. Oh, Timothy, don't behave so badly. Although he will let me pet him. Oh yes, handsome boy. So I like his lock definition. Look at his belly.
Timothy!
You're
Come
on
on.
camera. Do you really have to behave like that? Yes, he does. So he's got nice lock definition, cool colors. I've used his fiber a lot, and people can't even tell that it's a boy versus a girl. When you shear and wash up his faces.
Hey, come on.
He's doing that a little bit to me because I'm also a girl. So that's part of the problem. Oh, and here comes Buckwheat. Hi, Buckwheat. Buckwheat has so much hair you can almost not see his eyes. Let's go say hi to Buckwheat. Hey, Buckwheat. Say hello. Buckwheat comes from Buckwheat Bridge, Angoras, and they help run the fleece show at Rhinebeck. So, and he is filthy, filthy, filthy. I can't help it. He got himself muddy in all this rainy weather that we've had. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that fleece, but it's barely going to be washable.
Thanks, Buckwheat.
Yeah, thanks, Buckwheat. Sometimes Mother Nature is not your friend. Hey, you guys. Should have put a little on the ground?
Is the fence on?
I don't know, but I'll see if I can attract them. Yeah. Buckwheat is not, his horns are almost as big as Benji's, but he is much younger. So they're not quite as big, but they're big. And people often ask me why are Timothy's not like that. Well, the Angora boys do get very big, decorative, fancy horns. Timothy is by far the youngest of the three. Benji is ancient, but that's cool. He's the last of the line from Sharon Chestnut, who's a breeder on the West Coast at the very tippy top of the U.S. in the sort of Washington State area. And her interest in colored Angora goats goes all the way back to the beginning. And she was actually the treasurer for many years for the Colored Angora Goat Breeders Association. Yeah.
These guys are funny, aren't they?
Yeah, actually, she was a big reason why we even have colored Angora goats in the United States. And I often tell people, colored Angora goats are a very American thing. Most of the rest of the world has the white ones, like Buckwheat, who doesn't look white, but that's cosmetic and and that's the fact that it's breeding season. Yeah, and he's so handsome and so big. Oh my goodness, buckwheat is so strong, and when you shear him, you're like shocked at how big he is underneath all that. Hello, boys. But anyway, most of the rest of the world, like where there's a lot of Angora goats down in South Africa, and there's a lot of, and they originate from Turkey. As a matter of fact, that's where the word Angora comes from, Ankara, Turkey. But those are all white. For thousands, maybe 3,000 years or so, they've always been white. And in the United States, about 45 years ago now at this point, a bunch of women in the desert Southwest, of which Sharon Chestnut was an early pioneer with this group of women, but they went to Texas ranches and they said, hey, if there's any ones that are not born white, we'd be interested in buying them. And as the story goes, the ranchers, twice a year when a big shearing crew would come through to shear like 1,000 of these guys in, a couple of days, if there were some goats that were not white, to those big breeders, those goats would not have any value because their fiber couldn't be, it would be like a spot or a stain on all the rest of this white fiber. So they wouldn't want that goat. So usually the shearers would eat them. That would be dinner. And so as the story goes, some 40 years ago, the women would say, these little group of about 4 or 5 women said, hey, we will buy pizza for the shearers if you let us keep the colored stock. And in the beginning, it was hard to maintain the color, but now you'll find them all over the countryside. And if you go to big fiber festivals like Rhinebeck or Maryland Sheep and Wool, you will see breeders who bring examples from all over the country. But true to the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival, which was part of why I wanted to do this, you guys, normally at the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival, there is the Eastern Angora Goat Breeders Association show, and they bring 30 plus, maybe 60, sometimes more goats to the festival every year. And it's usually more than a dozen breeders, but I don't know how many more. And they do a show for the ones like buckwheat, the whites, and then they also do a show for the ones like Timothy, the colored Angora goats. The colored Angora goats have taken a while to get up to the same fiber standard as the traditional whites. So since this had to be created out of nothing, there were times in the evolution of this particular breed where they were crossbred with other goats to get color into their fiber. But then, of course, other goats don't have this naturally, like, curl like the Angoras. That's the unique, special thing about Angora goats. So, so if you take a dairy goat or a meat goat of a breed that has predominantly black or brown markings, or maybe is solid black or brown, and you breed it to one like buckwheat, you do get color, but you could lose a lot of this gorgeous fiber that doesn't have, like, the other breed, like the cashmere or the meat or the dairy, would bring in problems into the fiber, like medullated fiber, prickly fiber, basically, for somebody who is not familiar. So then you have to work, you double back, and you breed to eliminate the icky fiber, but to keep the color. So the fact that you can have an animal such as this and predictably get other colored Angora goats out of it is truly an American accomplishment. Yes, hello, Timothy. Yeah. So anyway, I'm really proud of it, and I'm really proud of how fine and soft the fiber is that I can get from the animals on my farm. I know that the mohair industry of America has not been based, their profit margin is not based on spinner's flocks like my own. So there's a little bit of a disconnect between what the public understands this fiber to be for, and therefore their understanding of the value of it, and then what a spinner's flock is all about. To me, a spinner's flock of a breeder like myself, of colored Angora goats or Angora goats, is to create this incredibly lustrous, incredibly soft, and ironically also strong fiber that's very much like silk, because silk is soft, it's lustrous, and it's strong. So it's a really luxurious fiber. It just has a misnomer because in history people just valued its strength and didn't breed for the fineness and the softness. But in the context of the small farms in the United States, like myself, that's not really what's happening. And I absolutely love the fiber that I get from it. So this is a great opportunity for me to do a little fiber education that would normally be happening at the Shenandoah Festival, because when the yarn shoppers do actually come over and go into the barns where these guys are, yes, I know. I shouldn't pet him on the top of his head, particularly not at this time of year, because it activates him to act more like a drunken sailor. So I'll do a little under the chin. But anyway, when people get to see the fleece show in person, or see, 20, 50 pens full of these animals and pet them and see them in the way people present them for show, as opposed to I'm showing you just what they look like in the field, you really get to see how soft the fiber is and how lovely it is to work with. So I'm hoping to be a part of creating the wave and the educated consumer that I guess really is the best way to change what people think of this fiber, is to show it to you guys. But normally they don't look quite this, this is rather casual.
They're not all fancied up.
Yes, instead of all fancied up. If I were going to take these to show, I would have shorn them at a very specific time. I would have not let them get themselves quite so dirty. They would look a little bit more like the poodle in the background and a little bit less like this little guy that I have right here. But anyway, that's a little bit about my Angora goats. And Jenny, are there any questions I should answer?
Just hellos and highs.
Yes.
Oh, Timothy, that's such a lovely sound that makes, isn't it? He's like, yeah, do you want me to do it again? I can do it again for you. Timothy.
He's like, bring the grain back. I know it's not 5 p.m., but I would like it anyway.
I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on my farm. Last time I did this at another show, I was out in the field and then it started to rain on me and I got cut short. This time, I have to say, I had a little technical difficulties getting Facebook to get me back into my own event. But you know what? I suppose that's better than the rain. Than standing out in the rain with wet goats. I'm delighted that for those of you that came, and I look forward to the day that we see each other again in person, and cheers to everybody. Happy knitting and stay healthy. Thank you.